Long ago, mankind knew the powers that he inherited from the Creator. There was a time when the seas were calm and the sky was clear. But the rulers of men put their individual interests before the happiness of the people. Elders grew thirsty with lust for knowledge without wisdom. Kings sought power without compassion. And so the world lost its soul. Then evil became bold and ruled where men once did. It is in the children that we must once again find our courage. Children who once defeated giants, and young men fought and tamed lions. The time has now come when the children of man must rediscover the power within and become whom they were born to be. In the remote Nigerian town of Ogoni, in the oil-rich Niger Delta region, a dark, sinister cloud builds up over a small bungalow. These are no ordinary clouds. It's as if the stomach of the heavens is churning and ready to puke something other than rain. An old woman arrives. She is the priestess and oracle of the Ebie Protectors sect. A pregnant local woman's life is threatened as it is time for her baby to be born. But something is very wrong. Her English husband cries and worries for his wife's life. The oracle casts her most powerful spells and consults the spirits, but their response is unclear. The old conjurer is helpless and confused, seeing that the people's hero's life is threatened. The young woman in labor is the Edule, natural-born warrior of the fearless Ogoni people of the Ijaw kingdom. Like the Edules before her, she inherited the Black Panther spirit and supernatural powers to protect her people from the foretold evil one who is to come. Amidst her screams and moans of pain, she grabs the arm of her midwife. As her strength wanes, she compels the oracle to vow to do whatever is necessary to save her unborn child. She assures the oracle that she'll hold them back in the other realm. Appearing in a dark Hadean world, the young woman is transformed into her warrior form, the Edule. Alone and fearless, the fierce tribal warrior wields two flaming swords. She is surrounded and outnumbered by a host of vile creatures. The Edule wastes no time. She spins through the horde, slashing her devilish enemies, destroying many as she moves. She leaps into the air, sustained in mid-air by some strange force, attacking head-on another set of flying vampire-looking demons. The battle in the parallel realm rages on, and the warrior fights bravely, destroying many foul creatures of the dark world. As she battles the legion of demons, her enemies continue to multiply. Suddenly, a vicious and terrifying huge demon yells with an echoing bellow from a distant skull throne. He is Brutus Demonicus, general of Hell's army. His throne is covered in slithering serpents. The huge beast mocks the lone fighter, laughing and reciting repeatedly, "We are coming for your children. We are coming for your children. We are coming for your children." Surrounded in the unending battle, the Edule weakens. For in the physical world, she simultaneously fights a different battle, the struggle of every mother during childbirth. She is pierced from behind by the monstrous spike tail of Brutus. The huge beast's thunderous laughter reverberates in the evil world as the Edule slumps and dies. The old woman delivers the baby from her mother's lifeless body, and she is immediately proclaimed as Ebie, meaning a good thing has come. The dead woman's husband cries uncontrollably as the old priestess removes the sacred pendant from the body of the fallen Edule and wears it around the baby's neck. The newborn child does not cry. Instead, she stares at the oracle with her bright, peering eyes, like a panther stalking its prey, as if her eyes are fixed upon an unseen threat. It is the first day of the new year, 2022. The world is still grappling with the menace of the deadly Hydra, the COVID-19 virus. The pandemic has taken first place in the troubles of the world, beating the worrisome devastation of the environment by the negative effects of climate change. With each COVID-19 variant becoming increasingly deadly, the fourth wave of the pandemic is being spurned by the Omicron variant, and it is confusing even to the most brilliant scientists of the world, not just because of the super-spreading ability, but the suspicious mildness of the illness it presents. Governments all over the world are continuously trying to find a balance between protecting public health and succumbing to public pressure to remove citizen restrictions, which is crippling the global economy and social activities. The dilemma whether or not to continue to shut down schools is creating a new worry about the immediate and long-term negative effects it will have on the already fragile mental state of the children. Small and large-scale businesses, still grappling with dwindling activities, even after receiving various financial bailout and support from governments, now have to choose between total closure and staff reduction. With new restrictions to social gathering, life around the world is finally grinding to a total halt, while the resilient Generation Z youngsters are turning to their ever-dependable digital devices and social media platforms. With global deaths surpassing the 5 million mark, a new wave of conspiracy theorists are emerging. On one hand, some people lean more towards a population reduction theory, purportedly championed by some super-rich, influential people and organizations engineering the fatal virus and deliberately releasing it into the public with the singular aim to reduce world population. On the other hand, religious fanatics are taking it upon themselves to prepare the world for the impending doomsday, which they believe is long overdue. Far removed from these scaremongers is a most troubling warning coming from one highly decorated scientist, a man who has worked for over 40 years as senior futurologist at the International Agency for the Protection of Earth and Space, IAPES, London, Prof. Timothy Rosy. Prof. Rosy's new time-scale theory revolutionized space high-velocity travel time with Earth-time synchronization, which is still used till date to calculate precise loss of biological time of astronauts when they return to Earth. 15 years ago, Prof. Rosy discovered a space rift in Earth's exosphere. The exosphere is the very edge of Earth's personal space, so to speak, 1,000 kilometers above Earth's surface. This layer is the fifth atmosphere which separates Earth from outer space. It's about 10,000 kilometers thick. That's almost the width of Earth itself. After 3 years of tracking, he discovered that the origin of this unknown rift is located in Central Africa. Prof. Rosy claims that this phenomenon is unnatural and is being generated by a 4,000-kilometer-wide virtual parabolic energy field. He postulates that the phenomenon is man-made. For several years, the Prof has compelled the IAPES to further investigate the source of the rift, but his request is always quickly overridden by higher authority. After several years of rejection by the International Space Congress to make his presentation about his discovery, Prof. Rosy finally receives the approval of the Congress to deliver his research paper next week at this year's London conference. 1 week passes slowly, or so it feels for Prof. Rosy, as he prepares to leave his house on Vintage Street in the Peckham district of South London, where life is still pretty much as it has been since the entire lockdown. Everyone on Vintage Street knows one another. Most were born here, and their parents as well as grandparents have lived happily amongst one another. The quiet street is now dominated by teens and young adults, who mostly hang out and play outdoor games in small, friendly groups. Like many neighborhoods, Vintage Street has its own undesirable group of rascals, trying so hard to be regarded as a tough street gang. Led by the self-absorbed and attention-seeking 22-year-old, Chris. The dark shade gang, as they prefer to be called, always gather in front of his house, cleaning and polishing his trademark yellow Mini Morris car, which he hopes will get him some much-desired attention from the girls on the street. Sadly for the gang boys, the girls of Vintage Street already have their eyes on the new guy, 20-year-old Ebie. Ebie, a dark-skinned African, recently moved to the modest neighborhood with his adopted parents, a missionary English couple who adopted him from Nigeria at the young age of 7, and together they have traveled all over Africa, South America, and Asia, preaching the good word and sometimes volunteering as teachers in those countries. The dark shade boys regularly pick on Ebie because most of the girls on the street flirt with him, always trying hard to get his attention, leaving Chris and his gang drooling with envy. Ebie keeps to himself, but is polite, and only bow in appreciation to the advances of the pretty girls of Vintage Street. At the other end of the street lives a 19-year-old biracial beauty, Ebie Smith. Ebie is that neighborhood chick every guy wants as his girlfriend, and every girl wished to be like. Living alone with her English dad, who is an oil exploration consultant, Ebie's mother died while giving birth to her. Ebie's parents met in Ogoni, an oil-rich town in the Niger Delta of Nigeria, while Ebie's dad was working as an oil well engineer, and her Nigerian mother was a nurse. Devastated by the death of his loving wife, Ebie's dad immediately moved back to England with his newborn baby. Over the years, as Ebie became older, her father took up an international oil exploration consultancy job in Kuwait and only visited Ebie in England once or twice every year. But he always sends adequate money for his daughter's upkeep, so Ebie has grown up emotionally and physically independent and has learnt how to look out for herself. The other girls on Vintage Street love to be around Ebie, not just because of her strong martial arts protection ability, but also because she plays the role of a caring mentor who all the girls look up to and one who gets all the boys' attention, yet scared of, especially after the pretty face girl beat up one of the gang boys. Living next door to Ebie is Alex, only son of Prof. Rosie. Alex and Ebie have both grown up together as best pals on Vintage Street. Their extreme close relationship is not very defined. Sometimes Alex seems to be getting the "be my boyfriend" look from her, which only often ends up in a quick peck on his chick. Alex is not one you'll call bold, but tries to be the man around Ebie whenever trouble is brewing. Let's just say, on his own part, he's Ebie's secret admirer. Like Ebie, Alex was raised by a single parent. When Alex was 5 years old, his alcoholic mother moved out, leaving him and his dad. She never came back ever since. Both the young and old Rosie have become inseparable. Though the good prof is always engrossed with his scientific crank ideas and conspiracy theories, he still manages to get Alex to listen to his ever-confusing theories, and Alex always pretends to be enthralled. Everyone on the street likes Prof. Rosie, and he seems to play the role of the good old uncle next door. And so the morning of Prof. Rosie's big presentation is finally here, and he is looking confident in his trademark gray suit and red briefcase as he walks out the house gate towards his bright yellow VW. Alex, standing in the doorway, whispers their favorite phrase, "Go break a leg." Alex watches with a worried look on his face as his dad drives off. Ebie walks towards the parting fence between their houses and leaning over the low fence. She puts her hand on Alex's shoulder, trying to calm Alex's concerns. He'll be all right. He does this every year and comes back in one piece. Alex answers his confidant. Ebie, I don't think this is like the previous years. This time something is different. He seems to be anxious about something, as if there is an urgency of sorts. Ebie replies, I admire his tenacity. I wish others were a little like him. You know, stand by what they believe. Your dad is a stubborn but nice man. He goes for what he wants. You should try that sometime. Alex, looking embarrassed and surprised, is left speechless as Ebie walks away with a smirk on her face. She calls out, Ah, there are my girls. Seems they're trying to get Ade's attention again. I wouldn't blame them though. He looks mysterious and strong. Alex is jealous and decides not to join the chuckling ladies. Ebie walks up to the two girls who are trying to start up a conversation with Ade. But as usual, the topless macho ignores the flirty girls. Ebie and the girls continue their chattering. Far off at the other end of the street, the dark shade boys can't hide their resentment. The gang boys can barely be heard as they murmur indistinct derogatory remarks about their undisturbed perceived contender. Sensing a buildup of trouble, Ade walks into his house. Later that afternoon, Ade's loud voice draws the attention of the neighbors. He is delivering some groceries to Lucas, who is on a wheelchair. It seems Lucas is up to his usual shenanigans. Lucas used to shop for himself at the market street, just down the road. but he is renowned for cheating and sometimes tries to avoid paying altogether for whatever he buys. He is also not very popular because he often deliberately owes money for past shopping. Nowadays, he asks Ade to do his shopping for him. Ade does personal shopping for many people on the street, particularly the old folks, for a much-needed cash, because his adopted parents struggle to make ends meet, since they are volunteering missionaries, who generally work for free. Like most times, it seems today, Lucas is up to his old mischievous ways, trying to avoid paying for Ade's services. Ebie rushes to the scene to mediate between the arguing pair. The warring men settle, and Ade continues on his delivery rounds. Just then, Alex's dad's yellow VW pulls up in front of the house. Prof. Rosie walks into his front yard, looking half-hearted. Alex and Ebie welcome him and ask how it all went this time. The downcast prof sadly answers, "I need a drink." Alex replied, "That bad, eh?" He tells Ebie, "I need to be with him." Alex goes into the house with his dad. Inside the house, Prof. Rosie gets a drink for himself and sinks into his favorite chair. Turning to Alex, he complains, "The fools, who will act if they do nothing. They are the world's best scientists, yet they prefer to bury their bald heads in their outdated books. Even after I told them that I have the exact coordinates of the 5 towns in Africa that make up the massive virtual parabola, they still weren't interested in sending a research team to the locations." He continues angrily, "And that mediocre chairman of the governing board, all he was interested in was my file. What impertinence, asking me to submit my research findings, and they'll find time to peruse it." "Peruse it," he said. "That man hasn't done any research work that anyone can remember, yet he is put in charge. I can't believe I've wasted the past 7 years trying to convince the Congress to support my research. The way they even spoke to me makes me wonder if they think I'm crazy." Alex, speaking sarcastically, "Well, don't worry, Dad. It runs in the family." Prof. Rosie replies, "At least yours has a name, insomnia." Alex cuts in, "I don't suffer from insomnia. I'm just scared to sleep sometimes. I get these dreams, and they seem so real. In the dreams, I find myself lost in a strange world of dragons, and I can't seem to find my way out." Alex snaps out of his own brief daydream and continues, "Anyway, we are not talking about me. Don't you think it's high time you gave up on your wild conspiracy theory? After all, the Science Congress is the body of experts, and they should know better." Alex's dad is frustrated. He remarks, "I just don't understand. I presented indisputable proof that the parabolic rift in our Earth's atmosphere is not a space rift like I thought, but a dimensional rift. And from the readings I'm getting at the office lab, it has become traversable." Alex, looking confused, asks, "And that is bad, I presume?" Prof. Rosie continues, sounding even firmer and more worried, "That means things can pass through." Alex getting more inquisitive. Things like... His dad sighs, and now speaking in a concerned manner, he explains, "Matter and extraterrestrial beings can cross from one end into the other. I know that sounds implausible, but that's the problem. We know very little about what is beyond our physical world, and I was hoping that the learned scientists would at least be curious to know what and maybe who is responsible for this phenomenon. If you ask me, the rift is too perfect to be some kind of random cosmic event. I have reasons to believe it is man-made, or at least made by some form of highly intelligent being." Alex, sounding frustrated, "So we are talking aliens now? Come on, Dad. Can you hear yourself?" Alex continues, "Maybe that's why Mom left." There is a brief silence. Then Alex walks to his dad. "I'm sorry, Dad. I shouldn't have said that. Mom's leaving has nothing to do with your crazy ideas. Alex smiles. Prof. Rosie looks up from his sitting position towards Alex. Feeling let down, he laments. Not you two. You don't understand. My gut feeling is that something really bad is about to happen to our world. Alex casually answers. Something bad is already happening. COVID-19 is killing millions of innocent people. That is real. This portal thing isn't. The dad, feeling helpless, succumbs. You are probably right. What can one old man do? Maybe I'm actually getting cracked up. Alex, trying to cheer his dad. No, you are not. I'm proud of you. You stand up for what you believe. His dad cuts in. And you should too. Just tell her how you feel before you lose her. Too. Alex, shocked and embarrassed. What? Lose who? Prof. Rosie replies, Ebie, of course. You two have been more than friends since you were kids. It's obvious you are in love with her. Just tell her how you feel. Alex, still embarrassed. How did we go from aliens to, and don't you even say that. Anyway, I believe things that are meant to be should happen naturally. His dad replies, Well, son, I'm afraid in this modern world they don't. People can't see what is in front of them, at least not anymore. They both sigh and hug each other. Alex looking into his dad's eyes. All will be fine, Dad. You'll see. Alex gets up and picks up a shopping bag. He changes the topic. Anyway, we are running short on groceries. I'll just hurry to get a few things. Will you be okay? The dad assures Alex. You go on, I'll be all right. As Alex walks out the door, he turns around and with a curious expression he asks, But why do so many bad things always seem to happen all at the same time? His dad replies, My son, there are things we know, and there are things we do not know.